Hi, sociologists. I hope you're doing well on this day after spring break. Um, Today I just want to check in and kind of talk to you about what we're doing going forward and any changes that I've made. I know there's a lot of changes going on everywhere with all of your lives, mine included. So there's a lot to kind of process, and I hope that everybody's doing the best they can to take care of themselves and take care of each other in your lives. So I just did a couple things to kind of create a different like access going forward for you guys. And everything up to this point is just done. We're not going to go back to anything. But what we're doing is going forward. Um, I've opened all the modules so that you can see exactly what we're doing for the rest of the semester so that you can make decisions about what best works for you in terms of when you do the reading. The midterm is open. It's been open though. That was open before break. And the finals open. So you have all the all the assignments basically from now until the end of the semester are open. The forums, the discussion posts are not going to open just all at once because that's too much for everybody to manage. So those are going to stay on a weekly progression, but also we can't have conversations if we're all over the place. So in order to keep us cohesive as a class, we're going to continue with our weekly forum posts. So this week you're starting on what is social class, which I think is very interesting. You know, social class in the time of a pandemic is very interesting. Like who's getting sick, who's getting access to treatment, who matters, how does social class play a role in that? So you're going to think about social class in terms of all of the things that you're going to read through like kind of the classic academic sociological framework, and you're also going to watch this film called People Like Us, which talks about social class in the United States and how so many things are affected by social class, stuff we really don't even think about until we break it down sociologically, which obviously sociologists focus greatly on social class as a determinant for all sorts of things. And in a society that is kind of touted as a meritocracy, you just work hard and you can get what you want. This kind of nagging little bit about things that we don't have much control over called ascribed statuses, like our social class at birth, our ethnicity, our race, our gender, our ability, those kinds of things, our physical ability, our age, those are things that we don't really have any control over necessarily, but those are things that then kind of either offer us advantage or disadvantage. So we can call them things like privilege also. We'll talk about privilege as we move forward into kind of this section. Um, and talk about how certain things privilege us, right? Give us advantages and certain things don't. And in a capitalist system, social class is something that stratifies us in the sense that the more access to resources we have, the more opportunities we have. Um, and that's not to say that we can't do things to change that or uh, kind of work hard. I think like that doesn't mean like don't work hard if you didn't already come from privilege. That just means that coming from a place of privilege, financial privilege, cultural capital privilege, all of that allows for someone to enter into the world of, privilege much easier with greater access. And so how class perpetuates itself is something that's very interesting as well. So I invite you to think about social class as we think about what's going on currently. Um, I think I say this a million times, but I work in San Quentin and I think about their access to medical care and support. Um, During a time like this. There's no such thing as social distancing in prison. You can't. You're in an 8-foot cell with someone else. You have to breathe the same air as them. It's just not even a thing. And so, how does their lack of privilege perpetuate um, illness. And what we know is that for those guys in there and in other institutions across the country, is that that sickness spreads really fast. And so they do everything they can to prevent that, but it's just really hard to do stuff like keep your hands clean, get fresh air, eat fresh food, do all the things that if it's just easy for you to have groceries delivered, or you can go to the store when no one's around and you can do all the things you need to do to prevent the spread of illness. Like, it's just not as likely for them to be able to have the access to live like that. And so social class is something that's really interesting in these current conditions. And so, yeah, there you have it. So what I'm going to do going forward is I'm also going to create some online office hours, which are going to be like via Zoom. So I'm going to work on that this week, like setting them up. It doesn't take that long, but I'm going to do that so that if anyone wants to directly talk to me, we can do that as well, since clearly I'm not going to the college for a little while. And at this point, you know as much as I do, which is right now we're going to remote instruction, and we haven't been told like, oh, we're going to start face-to-face again on this day. So I'm anticipating that the rest of the semester is going to be done this way. So for your class, since we do everything this way anyways, it's not a super big difference. But if you do come to campus and you're in a different class there with me or whatever, we're going to be doing things different. And so if you're in my other classes, you've already gotten the, at least 2 or 3 emails from me saying what we're going to be doing. So you know what we're doing. But if anybody's having trouble navigating any of this, the college wants to support you too. So reach out to me so I can help you get technology if you don't already have it. But again, because you've been in this class all semester, I'm assuming that you already are doing it. So you're probably not the people that were worried about falling through the cracks. Okay, I'll stop babbling now. Go think about social class. Think about these things and take care of yourselves. Eat well, sleep well, get fresh air when you can, practice social distancing. Like, it's so weird sociologically to use that phrase even. I'm like, oh, that's a new kind of phrase, social distancing. Maybe it was always a thing, but now it's like I hear it 1,000 times a day. So what's happening sociologically in the culture that's making, things so different now? I mean, obviously it's an illness, but like, how are we talking? How are we living? What will come from this? Very fascinating. Very fascinating. Unfortunate that it had to take this to make such big shifts, but let's see what those shifts are, and let's see kind of like which ones stick after this is all said and done. Okay? Pay attention. If you're a sociologist, you must be paying attention. All right, I'm going to stop. Take care. I'll be in touch. Take really good care. Okay?